This week, I celebrated 30 years of marriage to my husband, Ted. And let me tell you, being married to someone that long is not easy. So here's my anniversary gift to you. We're gonna take a little walk. I'm gonna tell you 30 ways to stay married for 30 years. So let's go. Starting from the beginning, before you even think about getting married, you need to be friends first. Really good friends. We were friends for 2 years before we ever dated. Ted went to UC Berkeley and I used to go visit him, and we just did fun friend things. We'd go to cafes and like guess what people's stories are, and we'd joke and laugh, and we'd have these long conversations about life. And we got to the point in our relationship, our friendship, where we could talk about anything, absolutely anything. No topic was taboo, and that was fabulous. It built a fantastic foundation of trust, and it's been the basis for our relationship. Number 2, during this period, I think it's really important to have a lot of fun. Laugh, goof off, do silly things, especially if you're still young. Just have a good time, because you know, all of these fun times, these crazy things you do when you're a little younger and they become the foundation for your memories. And the longer you're married, the more precious and important these memories become. 3, I think it's really important to fall in love. And there's a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. It's that all-encompassing obsession for each other where you just want to be together all the time. You want to fall in love with someone and give it time, let it simmer. You know, make sure it's the real deal, because committing to a marriage, a life together, is huge. So don't rush into it. And number 4, related to falling in love, the feelings must be mutual. The timing is everything. Sometimes you like somebody or you love them, but they're not that into you, or vice versa. It's really important that you both feel that overwhelming love for each other. This is just my opinion, because again, I think it sets the most incredible foundation for the marriage yet to come. Don't be clingy. Don't hold on to someone who just isn't that into you. I knew I loved Ted, like for more than as a friend, when I got jealous of his new girlfriend. That right there was the indicator that, yeah, maybe I want this to be more than it already is. If Ted hadn't been into me, I would have walked away, and that's what you need. You need to have respect for yourself, and if the person doesn't reciprocate, you need to move on and find someone who does. You're a cutie. Number 5, this is one of my favorite ones. If you're thinking of marrying someone, take them into the wilderness for 3 days, because you take anybody backpacking, by the end of the 3rd day, whatever they are, whoever they are as a person, is on display in all its glory. All pretense has dropped off. There's no more faking it. And I did this with Ted. We fondly call it the hell hike. And I made many errors as a backpacker on this trip, and bringing a newbie along made it even worse, and maybe someday I'll just tell that whole story. But he did not leave me. He did not dump me after that trip, and honestly, most men probably would have dumped me. So what I learned about him on that trip is that yes, he'll suffer, and yes, he may complain, and yes, he may need painkillers to get through it, but he will get through it, and he'll stick it out. He'll get up that mountain, he'll be loyal, and he'll stay with me. And that was all I needed to know. Number 6, before you guys get married, you really need to be on the same page about important stuff. So religion, politics, kids or no kids, you need to generally be in agreement. And I don't mean you need to be the same religion or have the same politics, but you do need to respect one another's viewpoints and not be a zealot about your side one way or the other. You need to have a lot of tolerance. And if the question of kids comes up and it's a matter of whose religion do the kids grow up in, then you really do need to be on the same page about that one. Number 7, and maybe this is obvious, but I have to say it, when you finally do decide to get married, commit with everything that you have, with everything that you are. Commit for life, because it takes that kind of commitment to stick it out, because it gets harder later on. It gets really hard. Number 8, be prepared to prop each other up, support each other's dreams, and be prepared to do it for life. You know, Ted and I had different dreams. He has dreams of, you know, doing a big startup, and I've supported him over the years with all kinds of startups. And he supported me in my dreams of wanting to travel and live in different places and experience different cultures. He moved with me out of his comfort zone in Silicon Valley to live in Lake Tahoe. And then we moved to Puerto Rico, which was crazy. And he did that for me because he loves me and he knows that this is important. It's a dream of mine. So that's the kind of thing you do when you're married. You make sacrifices, he makes sacrifices, but in the end, it's for the greater good. Number 9, expect issues. Nobody is going to be perfect. There's going to be something about the other person that drives you crazy. I'm kind of a decorating freak. I'm an anal, obsessive, compulsive, I think, a little bit. I like everything to be picture perfect in its place. So I'm the decorating queen, and it makes him a little nuts. I don't like to leave my phone ringer on because I hate to be interrupted. That makes him nuts because he can't always get a hold of me when he wants to. From my point of view, Ted likes to complain a lot. He's just very critical of everything, and I have to listen to all that, and it kind of makes me nuts. But the thing is, somebody else is going to have something else, and it could be a whole lot worse. It's really up to you to change your attitude about it, to change your mindset, to not be bothered. Learn to not care. Okay, learn to not care about the dumb, annoying little stuff, and you'll have a longer, happier marriage. Number 10 is really important. You need to be strong. You need to speak your mind, and you need to speak from your heart. There's going to be a point where you have to speak up and you have to stand your ground, and it's going to be uncomfortable, but it'll be important, and so you need to do it. You know, there was a pivotal point in our marriage just after our first baby was born, and it was stressful. She hasn't slept through the night for 4 months, so I hadn't really slept for 4 months, so I was kind of crazy with lack of sleep. And Ted was at a startup, and he was under constant pressure. He was working till 3 a.m. You know, he'd come home, and the baby and I are supposed to be quiet at 6 a.m. when she wakes up. Well, you can't keep a baby quiet. You know, I tried to accommodate as much as I could, but then I cracked, and we had a very uncomfortable confrontation in the kitchen, and I stood my ground, nose to nose with him, and it was a pivotal moment in our marriage. It showed him that I was serious, and it showed me that I was strong enough to take a stand and fight for my rights and be an equal partner in the marriage. From there, things changed. Things changed for the better. I'm still recording. Oops. Okay, number 11. Be willing to bend, be willing to compromise. You're two people living together in close proximity forever. You're gonna have conflicts, you're gonna have issues. Sometimes one person's gonna feel more strongly about the issue than the other. If it's not that big a deal, then just compromise. Be willing to bend. You're like willows in the wind. If you don't bend with the wind, you're gonna crack. And sometimes it is important, and you both think it's important, and one of you ends up compromising. The other one needs to remember that and put that away in the bank of goodwill and be the one to compromise next time. That's just how it is. It's give and take for years and years and years. 12, have empathy for the other person. Say you're sorry if you mess up or if you get in a fight, a really big one. Be the one who says sorry. And even if it's something stupid like you almost slammed the car door on her hand, you know, just say sorry. You didn't mean to do it, right? So just a little sorry can go a long way. So adorable. Hi, look at your big eyes. Here, how about a hand? Yeah, you can relate to that. Okay, call her sexy. Tell him he's handsome. Give them compliments. Really mean it. Show them little kindnesses. It all matters in the bank of goodwill. You need to build a savings account because someday you're going to get into some confrontation and you're going to need to draw down on that account, and you want to have a lot of goodwill already built up there. Oh, and Flabalicious is not a cool nickname. Just saying. Okay, let's talk about sex. Sex is really important in a relationship, and you need to make sure that both partners are satisfied. okay? Everybody needs to get their happy ending every time, no matter what that is. It cannot be one-sided. Get toys, get help, do whatever you need to do to make sure it's satisfying for both partners, however they like it. Number 16, go on adventures. Maybe check out greener pastures together, if you know what I mean. Hi there, aren't you cute? Hi! Oh, scared him. He's so cute. Little doggy. Number 17, date night. This one's really important, and if you have kids, it's critical. You have to get out of the house, just the two of you, get out of your pattern and go do something fun together. When our kids were little, Ted and I used to go on date nights regularly, and our babysitters would make fun of us because date night for us was we'd go out to dinner, you know, maybe we'd see a movie, but more often we would just go to Barnes & Noble, the giant bookstore. And they thought it was the most boring thing ever to go to Barnes & Noble on date night, but we loved it because when you're at home and the kids are screaming and running around and it's just mayhem all the time, the bookstore was this fabulous refuge where, you know, you could read about all the places you wanted to travel and the PCT that you wanted to hike and maybe the businesses you wanted to start and, you know, just all these things. So whatever it is for you, get out with your partner. It's really important to reconnect like that. 18. Now this one may seem obvious, but take care of yourselves. I think the longer you're married, the more tempting it is to just let yourself go. You need to take showers, brush your teeth, shave, wear clothes that aren't your pajamas. It's nice to be there for your partner. It's nice to dress up. It's nice to remind them of like, oh hey, this is why I married this person. Number 19. Dogs barking. No, I'm at the dog park and everybody's out now, but whatever. The show must go on. Divide the chores evenly. You know, and I understand that one partner may stay home with kids or maybe just stay home and take care of the home stuff, and the other partner may work outside the home, you know, but even if that's the case, you need to divide the chores evenly. So the one that's been home with the kids gets a break at the end of the day and isn't stuck doing everything all the time 24/7 for everybody. It's just so important. It's stuff you hate, but you know, if you hate something less, then take on that responsibility so that your partner doesn't have to do it. And for God's sake, unless you love cleaning toilets and sinks, hire a housekeeper. Hiring a housekeeper, if you can do it, is a marriage saver, believe me. And I'm sorry I didn't do it sooner, but once we did, it took a lot of grief and angst over who's gonna do what out of the marriage. Number 20, get your finances on the same page. This is really important. A lot of marriages split up over the money, and you got to realize that everybody comes into the relationship with their own ideas about money, and you just need to work with the other person's style and come to some kind of agreement. Ted is a big hoarder. He wants to have some big giant wad of cash sitting in somewhere safe that he can just have and never spend it. I'm a little different. I like to save money to spend it for some reason. Now, don't get me wrong, I like savings and I want a big pile of money sitting in the corner too, but I'm more likely to like dip into the pile of money to use it for something specific that's going to improve our lives, whereas he's more reluctant to do that. But in the end, you've got to figure out some kind of compromise. 21. Keep positive friends in your life and get rid of negative ones. You know, if you or your partner have a friend in your lives who is negative, toxic, who just sucks the life out of you, who's like a vampire of your energy, you need to get rid of this person because, you know, your partner doesn't want to hear you complain about your crappy friend, you know, every week when you talk to her. They're going to be unhappy and miserable no matter what you do or say, so let them be unhappy and miserable around other people. My dog friends. 22. Be willing to let go and give each other space. It's just not natural for people to be together 24/7 all the time, never separated. You know, you're human beings, you need space. You need space to think, to grow. I think it's great to have other friends and other hobbies and things you like to do. I think it's fantastic to go on a mancation with your buddies or go on a getaway with your girlfriends. I mean, that kind of stuff is normal and healthy, and you need to let go and let your partner explore their own lives if you want to have a long and happy marriage. Fights happen, okay? They're gonna be mean, they're gonna be nasty, you're gonna yell at each other, you're gonna say things you wish you hadn't, but you're gonna fight. It's a reality of being married. Okay, the thing is, you really need to try to bring as much emotional intelligence to it as you can. I know it's hard when you're caught up in the emotion. Focus on solving the problem, not blaming each other for, who started it or who was wrong or who was right. Don't do that. It's counterproductive. Just solve the problem. What's your hot tip for staying married for a long time?
Have a girlfriend.
He's a bad boy, you're gonna have to spank him. Okay, that was totally funny. 24, get outside help if you need it. There is no shame in going to counseling to help work out your issues. Ted and I went through a couple of rough patches, and so we got counseling, and that helped. Did the counselors have all the answers? Was it magical? No. But did they give us tools and methods for working through our issues ourselves with a bit of guidance? Yes. So definitely, if you're having fights that you can't resolve, get some outside help. The key is both sides have to work at solving the problem. 25, love them for who they are. Don't try to change them, okay? Don't marry someone thinking that you can remake them into a better human being. They are who they are. You need to accept them. Maybe you'll be able to influence them, maybe not, but you cannot count on changing people. People don't change because you want them to change. They only change if they want to change. "26. Be attuned to your partner, listen, observe, see what's going on. You can tell when there's something wrong. And if there's something wrong, you need to ask. You need to see what it is. That's part of being a good partner to someone. Don't take them for granted. Number 27, you want to have fun things in common together. This especially gets more important the longer you're married because, you've heard all each other's stories and maybe you get a little bit bored because you've been together for so long. And sometimes it's those little things that you enjoy doing together, eating out, going to movies, doing sports, whatever it is. Sometimes that's what you have. And so the longer you're with someone, the more important it is that you have these things that you enjoy together. You also need a sense of humor. You just have to laugh often. When you have those awkward holiday gatherings or, that mutual friend does something really just so incredibly unbelievable, you've got to be able to laugh together because it's a great way to connect, to bond, and having a similar sense of humor it's going to carry you far. Number 29 is actually direct from Ted. Ted didn't know I was making this video, but I did ask him, on our anniversary, what's your advice for staying married for a long time? And my dear sweet Ted, Captain Obvious, says, don't get divorced. Keep on keeping on. You need to persist. You just need to see it through. It's like when I took him out on the wilderness and he didn't give up on me, he just kept going through thick and thin. That's what you need. Tenacity, grit. You need to just keep on keeping on to make a marriage last. Number 30, have patience. Be in the moment. Be present. Be thankful. And I struggle with this, especially now with my current YouTube obsession. He'll suggest that we go out and do something fun, and I'll be like, no, I've got to put out a video. You know what? Put the camera down and go out with your husband and do something fun because moments are everything, and we don't have an infinite number of moments. So you need to enjoy each and every moment with your partner, and the more you do that, the longer and more happy your marriage will be. So cutie pie, I love you. Really, I really do. I'm not just saying that for the video. I really, 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 really love you, okay? Love you. Love you. 30 ways to stay married for 30 years. I hope this was at least a little bit helpful. I'm Diane, and I'm on the road to 1 million subscribers using every trick in the book. And I'm doing it to show you that you too can set crazy goals and make your dreams come true. So join me for the journey and let's do it together. Blah, 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 blah. This camera is a workout. Get those arms strong. I need a bigger camera. Mess that up. Let's do that again. That was so stiff. I'm Diane, and there's dogs. Guess I'll wait for the plane. Hope you can hear me over these waves. I'll see you next time. Oh, got a phone call. Scam likely. Oh God, I'm still recording. Cheers.